Good morning, Stampers. This is Becky Hahn at Becky's Stamping Studio in Davenport, Iowa. I'm back with you, although not 100%. One Friday, I was still substitute teaching, and last Friday, I was dealing with COVID, and I'm still got some residuals. Yes, I was vaccinated and boosted, but yeah, I came down with it anyway. I still have a lot of it in my chest. But I'm getting ready and wanting to go ahead. So today is not necessarily a fold or whatever. We're just going to play together. I have some cards completed that I'll show you at the end. But today we're just going to experiment and play with our decorative masks. We've had masks in the past that we generally have called stencils. They are calling these decorative masks, and they are a little smaller, a little easier to work with. These are called butterflies and flowers. So here's the butterfly, and I'll show you the flower in the same color combination using different papers. I like having some of these stitched rectangles, scalloped rectangle shapes. These are all from the scalloped contour dies. I have also used some from the Stitched So Sweetly dies. So those make it a really, really easy card. And we'll talk a little bit about these background designer papers in a minute. So what you're going to need and these are called actually the Decorative Butterflies and Flowers Layering Decorative Masks. They are on page 65 of the new mini January to June mini catalog. You could almost miss them if you aren't really looking. I had seen samples with this floral arrangement, and I thought, where's the stamp? I totally initially missed it. So that's why I'm wanting to share it with you today. It is really fun, easy, and you don't need a whole lot to play around with it. So what you're going to need are, I didn't write, stencils or these masks. The Butterflies and Flowers Layering Decorative Masks have 3 background, I guess you could call them stencils. And then they have 3 stencils that you can use. You have 2 layers, that's why they're layering, to make a butterfly. They've got several different flowers that layer. This is that big one I was seeing everywhere. And then you've got some littler ones here that layer on top of, see, they'll layer with detail like this. And you've got the leaves that you can add if you like. Okay, and I'll show you some samples with that. So these are the masks. You get 6 masks that I think are like 4x6 for $10 US, I believe. You'll need some low-tack, blending brushes. Oh, I love these. Our blending brushes come 3 to a pack for $12. They come in a reclosable bag. I usually have them standing up in a cup. Initially, and you can see this one, for instance, has several colors. Initially, I rinse them out. They rinse out really, really easily and dry. Let them dry overnight. When I first saw these, my mother, when she got them in her kit, said, "What are these marshmallow things?" I had used some other makeup brushes or blending brushes in the past, so to me, these seemed large. But for this type of project, they are perfect, and they are so dense. So I have not, I'm just starting, I've got some more on order. I'm just starting to have them assigned to a certain color family. And that works really well, and I'll show you how easily, even though they stain, which your finger daubers or silk sponges used to do, they are clean. So you'll need some blending brushes. You'll need some low-tack tape. There are several different kinds of low-tack tape out there. You're probably most familiar with a painter's tape. Now this is duct tape, Duck brand, blue painter's tape. I find over the years that this has gotten a little more tacky, so you want low tack. I have not tried, but you could go, and you want something fairly wide with a washi tape. It's low tack. You can also remove some of the tack if it's too tacky by putting it on your, picking up the lint off your jeans. Okay. This is, quote, purple tape. A lot of crafters use this purple tape. It's low tack. It's fairly narrow. The one I have been using, and I probably do like the best, is by Post-it. And it's their low tack tape. And it comes in a roll, fairly good size. And you can reuse. Any of these you can reuse. So this I found at Amazon. And so it's 1 inch wide. So I'll try to use a little bit of everything, but you're going to need a low tack tape, and you'll see why. Ink. And we all have ink, and it can be a large ink pad or a spot from Paper Pumpkin or whatever. And then to finish your creation, which I will not be doing, but I'll give you some ideas today, you need some coordinating DSP. And you might want to start with that because that will help guide your colors. Okay? So let's get started. The other thing you might want to grab is a silicone mat, or I have a Teflon mat too that I work on, because you are going to go off the edge of the piece of paper that you're working on. Today I think I'm going to start with kind of my unusual color combination that someone came up with that I just love. You can use 1 ink, I'm going to show you that, or you can use 2, I would normally say coordinating inks, shades. These are 2 kind of, they work well together. This is Fresh Freesia and Polished Pink. And I went with these because the paper I worked with is from our celebration group. It's called Friendly Hello. It comes with a stamp set. But I love, love, love the colors. So the paper I was wanting to use was this lovely paper that has, this is probably more petal pink, might be papaya, but it's a soft pink, and then the Fresh Freesia. And the 2 together, whoever designed this color combination, really works well with this paper. So I grabbed the paper first, and then I like to work with quarter sheets of our basic white cardstock. We're going to look at a couple other things as well. So we'll start with this. And excuse the sniffles. As I said, I am still working on stuff, although I've been cleared to be out and about. Okay, so you have 2 stencils with the butterfly. I did this color combination with the flower, so now I'm going to try the butterfly. And I'm going to take, you want to cover up any of the other images here that you don't want to accidentally get on your card. I like to try and tack some of it down so it doesn't move around. Oh, and an important thing, I like to take a loop of painter's tape or whatever tape you're using to hold what you're working on down. Okay, it doesn't stick real well to the silicone mat, but at least it's there. And then let's see, I will add some painter's tape. I will show you what happened when I used too much painter's tape. Okay, so really all I want showing is this. You need to be careful with the little wingy dingies here, the little antennae. And I'm going to start with the lightest color, which they're both pretty intense, and my purple blending brush. Now these are really nice. They're ergonomic and real easy to hang on to. Different people do different things. I like to have control by putting my finger on the top. Our newer pads are a little harder to squeeze ink onto, so I just take it from the top. And as you can see, I've just, and swirling motions. You don't want to pick up ink just from the center of your ink pad anyway. I like to get it started, and then we'll just do a circular motion. You can do this on vanilla too. And you can make it as dark or as light, and solid or evenly colored. That is totally up to you. You can see where it's moving. You can get your fingers in there. The other thing you're probably going to want on hand are some baby wipes or your chamois, because if you're going to sit down and do a lot of these things, you're going to eventually want to wipe off that stencil or mask. Okay, I'm done with this color. This was the Fresh Freesia. Now you're going to take a peek. Isn't that cool? See all the shading and how quick and easy that was? All right, now I need to expose. There's also a shiny side to these masks and kind of a dull side. I work with the shiny side up so that the brush moves easily. Now, to match up the butterfly, and I apologize, I think I just got my hair in it. I usually try to line it up with the butterfly body, and then you can kind of see through it well enough to line up everything else. Okay, let's see. I want this. You don't want to catch it on the little openings where you're going to want color. Okay, and let's hold it down to the silicone mat. And then I'm going to open my polished pink, switch to my pink brush. Again, go with circles. This is a newer pad too. I can see the ink gathering. See how it makes a blop? I don't want that on my butterfly. So we get rid of some of that there first. And you want to go over the whole thing. Stampin' Up! Has designed these so they shade and enhance each other really, really nicely. So much fun. So I've got polished pink here. These two are new in colors that will carry over. All right, and then I'm done. And then we can peek. Now, you also might want to put, and I can see just a hint of shadow, so let's see what happened. Okay, we can save some of our Post-it note low tack tape. And there's our butterfly. Ah, okay. Now, if you look very closely, you can see where I've picked up the edge of the mask. And if you don't want that to happen to yours, hence why when I created my cards, I have a piece of designer paper down here at the bottom with a piece of ribbon. I don't think I had that problem on this one. I did grab something up here. These two colors are Pool Party and Bermuda Bay. I used some blue gems that are in the annual catalog for the body. And this is some of our glittery white ribbon, which is still available. And the DSP, I went to, will not necessarily work for classes because I don't have enough in each of my groups. But I have these 6x6 plastic boxes, actually they're a little bigger than that, by Art Bin that I keep my papers in, my little papers. And each year we come out with a pack of patterns in each color family. So there's Balmy Blue and So Saffron and Pool Party, which is see what I use there. I think that's Blushing Bride, Mint Macaron, Pool Party, or Pear Pizzazz. So I use these papers. You could do this in a bazillion different color families if you have a pack of these 6x6 papers that are in the annual catalog. So I could have used the Bermuda Bay, which is in the brights, or I could have used the soft subtles. I did another one, and that's what I will show you how to do next in a different color combination. So I can make a different card. Here's another one. Oh, I'm missing the bow. It should have a cute little purple bow here. Oh, shame on it. Wonder where it went. No, it's a cute little bow. We still have this purple ribbon, which is in gorgeous gray. These two colors are Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape. And that's what I use to layer them on. And in the soft subtles, that little stack of 6x6 assortments, I found a piece of paper and I put it on like this. You will notice, however, that while the base color is the same stencil, I've tried something different with the detail, what I call the detail of the butterfly. So let me show you how you can do that. That's just another way to make them go a little further. So I'm going to grab one of these. Let's see, what color combination do I want to do? Okay, first I have to, here it is, and I need to clean it. Here we go. I'm going to do that off to the side here. Wipe it off with a wet one. Actually, my wet one is a little dry, so I'm going to spray it. Oh, love the table. And dry it off on my jeans. Okay. And I have pictures of all of these on my blog with a little bit of a description of how I did them and what supplies you'll need to try these. And you can just sit down with, have brushes, will travel. So we're going to start once again and see it's moving. There we go. Oh, and I don't have my little piece on the back. This little piece. Well, let's see how it works without it. Okay, I'm going to do a color on color. See how that works. I'm using just jade. This is one of my favorite in colors that will be leaving at the end of April. And I want to show you kind of two different things here. First of all, you can use a darker color. The blending brushes, you can go really light or really dark. You are in control. But if you don't have a lot of inks, you can, this isn't good, I already got it. You can take the inks you have and the papers you have. Okay, this time I am not going to use this as my body. I'm going to use one of my patterns. I'm going to pick up that this little daisy pattern. And I want the smooth side or the shiny side. So you're going to put that on top of what you've already done. Secure it down. Okay. And you can do ink on ink. You know, we used to talk about with our Stampin' Write markers that you can get shades by adding another layer of the marker. You can do the same thing with your blends. You lay down one shade and you add more on top to get other shades that are darker. You can do the same thing with ink. And this was my experimentation. Let me show you where it went wrong. First of all, I had a mask thing here and a mask issue down here, meaning I didn't have it taped. But notice, this is just jade, and you have the light jade, like I've already got laying here, and I moved the mask, put it on there, and just put another layer of jade on it. One ink. So you do not necessarily need two inks. I had this on with painter's tape, and it pulled a layer of the paper up. So I wanted to show you that. So if you get frustrated, check your low tack tape that you've got. One of the demonstrators suggests the yellow frog tape. I don't have that, but after using my blue painter's tape without success, I might try that too. But I do like my Post-it note tape, which you can get at any office supply. So, and it may be lighter out at the edge where you've got 2 layers of edges, what do you want to say, of mask. Okay, so this is just jade. And we can just, I love the reveal. Oh, that's cool. I'm happy with that. Okay, and then I'll find some designer series paper and find some jewels and finish that up. So stay tuned, I will get that finished. Okay, so those are a couple of techniques you can do with the butterfly. All right, so let's move to the flower. And you've got other patterns that you could use inside that solid butterfly as well. Okay, so let's go back to my, let's hold it in place business. This is a little bigger image. That's the dull side. I want the shiny. And you start with the finer tip, or the finer lined on this one. Okay, let's see, where's my Post-it tape? And I want some of it on my silicone mat. I want to cover up my flowers. Don't want to accidentally get those. And I think I'm going to make sure, and I can use my blue tape, that I don't catch these mask edges. Maybe that'll be a good reminder for you stampers as well. Okay, I'm going to show you one of my favorite combinations. And that's the peachy colors. And in this case, I'm using 2 that are, I guess you could say, in the same color family. The In Color Pale Papaya, and what I think is coordinating clip, so Coral, which is an old color that's been around for a while. I have a sponge that will do them both. I will get started. I'm going to go over here. See, I have used this several times. I have done the butterfly, and I have done the flowers. Isn't that cool? So I'm going to do the flowers. So that's what's stained this. But notice I am not picking up any, and I have not washed this. So we're going to start with the lightest color first and the detail mask. Circle, circle, circle. And this doesn't have any corner pieces to pick up that you have to, like with the antenna on the butterfly. And this is that flower I was seeing everywhere. I didn't know where in the world. It was kind of like, let's stump the demonstrator. Isn't that a nice soft color? I had thought I needed to try something with like Poppy Parade or Real Red or the darker colors. So maybe that's something you could test if you have those colors at home. So there is the detail. And I'm going to uncover these. Reveal time. And it's not like it's going to smear unless you get your hand in the ink on the mask. Or fingers. I have done that. Stuck fingerprints on my... Of course, you ladies don't do those things, do you? Okay, isn't that cool? Looks just like that. Oh, where's my little... Tack it back down. Hopefully with a clean finger. And then we need to now line this up. There are 3 circles, centers, in 3 of the flowers. If you line those up, oops, that's really off. There we go. You should see color in the openings of all of these. See how nice this Post-it note tape works. Okay, I still have some from before. We're going to cover up. Make sure I didn't move that. Something moved. I don't trust myself anymore. Okay, so if you feel like you need to clean that off, this is the lighter color, so it's really not going to do anything major. And I've switched to the darker shade, which is Calypso Coral. And again, you don't want blobs on your creation, your image. Do circles, circles, circles. Finger on top gives me even pressure. It's just so pretty. I love color anyway, so I intend to sit down with my brushes and there. I think that's good. What I loved about this when I saw it on samples was the white lines that appear. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love it. So if you do it on a larger piece like this, then you can decide how you want to cut it out. Do you want to cut it out with a the stitch scallops from the scallop contour dies? The paper behind it, first of all, it's the largest of those dies, and I have also used the Calypso Coral from the Soft Subtles. And just, it needs to be maybe just a subtle background that coordinates it all together. And of course, then we have the in color gems and a matching ribbon, and all of Stampin' Up's coordination makes that look so put together. This one then, and I think I'm a little darker on my Calypso Coral, so the white lines jump out a little bit better. I have used our new iridescent rhinestones for the centers of this, and I cut it with a little smaller stitch scallop rectangle from the Stitch So Sweetly dies. I put a piece of vellum behind it, and go back to some of that stuff from the annual catalog that we were using before the holidays. This is from the Euro Peach, and it's got those tones in it, and I really liked it with the Calypso Coral base. So, you know, to add a ribbon or not to add a ribbon, okay? So this is a flower. Here is the one that was done with the, and these have been on my website. I used the same scallop contour die for this one. Just depends on how it fits. Oh, and if you notice, this one has leaves. I'll kind of show you what to do. I'm not sure I'm enamored with the leaves. So what you want to do is tack this down. I'm going to go ahead and remove this because I'm just going to demonstrate. Sticks to paper better than the silicone. And you have, and again, I'm on the shiny side, you have all kinds of different leaves. You've got what I call kind of a sprig, and then you've got a pointy leaf. And so what you do is you lay these down. Here's one that probably will go right there. And you lay it down, you mask off what you don't need, and you take a green. Let's see if I have enough on here. I do. And you add leaves. Oh, but see what happens? Haste makes waste. So you can add your leaves. I think I used mint macaron on that because this is either soft succulent or mint macaron on here to coordinate with that. So play, play, play. So a couple other things you can use your masks for. This was one of the background pieces. I think this looks like Delft, and I intend to try and put our windmill or some of those things, tulips, on this piece. You could also take this or the other one with the flowers, which I've still got here. You can use your different colors and make it into a rainbow simply by switching out your brushes and your colors and creating your own background paper. DSP, isn't that cool? I think that's really, really neat. We have a couple other papers you can try as well. I'm wanting to try one. We have a new paper. Where is it? It's called Mother of Pearl. I don't know if you can see that. It's like glossy paper because it's dull on one side and glossy on the other. And so I wanted to take the flower, if I can find it. Here it is. I'm going to do the same colors since my stencil's dirty. I think I'm just going to use parts of it here and see how it resists this coated paper. All right, I'm going to do try two shades of Eclipse Coral. So skinny one first. Remember, I said, we're playing today. Come play with Becky. These are all things I was wanting to try. Haven't felt good enough to play. So play with me. If you don't have these masks yet, you can place your order. I have a January host code. If you have a $50 order, you can select a celebration item, such as that paper I used. Oh, that's cool. Okay, let's see what happens. Oops, but I bet I can wipe it off. Oh, that's pretty. Now, let's see if I need to blot it. All right, let's leave that a minute. And we'll go to and line up. There it is. Okay. And you can see that my ink pads from doing this, I've used up ink. So if you're ordering masks and have some color combinations I've used that you really like or have designer paper for, you might want to think about getting re-inkers so you can keep them nice and juicy and bright. Because I can see, even though I'm kind of going all over the pad, so let's see if I can pick up some of these inks from the far reaches of my pad. That might be why that one wasn't as dark too. I may be running out of ink, so don't forget that. That's a real possibility.